stream starting soon. I'm just starting. Welcome everybody. It is Saturday, and is it a rest day yet? Oh my goodness. This is starting to feel like a full-time job. My day falls into a pretty consistent pattern now. I have my coffee, Newman time, do a few things around the house, a little breakfast, whatever. And then I spin on my Roberta, watch maybe some of the Tour de Fleece. And I have generally been spinning one bobbin, which is right now one bat during that time. It's pretty much lunchtime then. Sometimes I have streamed instead of doing that spinning. Sometimes I've done that spinning on stream. It does vary a little bit. Get a bite to eat, and a lot of times I've been streaming around this time. I had to push it up a little early today. Hubby is pretty adamant about going out to eat tonight and doing a few other little errands in town, so he wants to leave at 4:30 for that, and I wanted to get this all taken care of, and we will. So like I said, I'm here today to spin. I have 2 bats of a dark CVM to spin, and it's pretty important I get that done to stay on my schedule, so we're going to do that. That's what you saw right here. How about a fresh cup of coffee? I have lagged because I get up so early, 5:30, 6 o'clock, depends. Let me turn the music down because I had it louder while I was setting up here just so I could listen to it. When I turn it down so it's probably really nice background for the stream, I can't hear it hardly at all. I miss it. I would like to listen to it, but that's not really its purpose. Its purpose is to have a little bit of something for you to listen to if you're busy doing your crafting and I'm not talking. What I was going to say about the coffee is it's extremely easy for me to get up in the morning and make a pot of coffee. I can do it in my sleep because technically I sort of still am asleep. Newman waits very patiently, sort of out of my way because he has been accidentally stepped on during that time and has learned. But he is waiting for his favorite time of the day. There's 2 times during the day that are his favorite times of the day, and that's when he gets half a can of canned food. So he basically gets a can of canned food every day, but half of it in the morning and when we get up, and half of it in the evening. He is a really considerate cat. He has not gotten to the point where he, actively insists that we get up. I have, on a very, very rare occasion, had him come up and boop me on the nose with his paw. It's really rare, though. Most of the time, he is just incredibly patient and willing to allow that to happen whenever we get around to it. So he gets his food. And what I was really going to say is, so making that coffee is super easy in the morning, and I used to try and make it a habit to have tea in the afternoon. Well, I've really fallen out of the habit of doing that because I don't feel like going through the whole process when I am so busy like this. And so I just made another pot of coffee, and that's what I'm having. Hubby was glad. He says, "Oh, I smell fresh coffee." And I said, "You're right. Help yourself." I hope you're catching this on the VOD because, to be honest with you, I don't expect a lot of viewers today. A number of the Tour de Fleece team is streaming that didn't have time to stream during the weekday like I do, so I perfectly understand if people are watching that. But I hope that you have decided that you wanted to come back and see what was going on. and watch the video on demand. I finally got the math done in my brain to figure out how to spin 15 bats of this. I mean, I have been trying to put 4 bats on each bobbin, and that, works out like to 12 or 16 to be divisible by 4. So what I'm going to do is the first 2 bobbins I will put the 4 bats each bobbin, and then the next 2 bobbins I'll put 3.5. You would think that was super simple to figure out, but it took me a little bit to figure it out. It was like, oh yeah, that's what I'll do. Tomorrow's a challenge day. I will not be spinning on this tomorrow. I will be spinning on my first of 2 challenge projects. It involves caracol, fleece, the locks, and tail spinning. And I will be doing it, excuse me, I just had lunch. I will be doing it on the Ara here because of the big bobbin and everything. That helps it. Those locks to go through and wind onto the bobbin. I'm looking forward to doing it. I got my fingers crossed that it goes well because this is what I want to submit to Shave 'em to Save 'em, and I may submit it to the state fair depending on how stable of a yarn it is. One of the things about the tailspun yarns is, and I'll probably end up talking about this again tomorrow, but one of the things about the tailspun yarn is that it's a single and it can end up very kinked, right? Very high active twist showing when you take it off and take tension off of it. So it just depends on how it looks. I'm fine with that, but I don't think a judge will be fine with that. So that's the reason I'm not sure I'm going to submit it. I have made this kind of yarn before. The thing is, it was a very small test, very small skein, just to show the technique during a stream a long time ago. That stream no longer is available on Twitch, but it is available on my YouTube, which is under the name LUSI222. Go to videos after you search that name and hit my page. And it'd be Mark Tailspun Yarn. I will try and put a link to that tomorrow. YouTube is really hard to link. They don't, I don't know. It's really hard to link specific videos. I think I need a little more uptake. This bobbin's getting some weight on it. I really wish I could stream outside. It is just glorious after all that awful stretch of heat that we had. It really is lovely out. But the thing about this Tour de Fleece is I really have set up to do spinning. I'm not doing any processing. I didn't want to take the time to do any processing. So, if I want to do something besides spinning, I can knit or, of course, any of the other essential things that I have to do for housework and stuff. But that was the point, was keep it simple, right? Just so I would only spin during the tour. And that's what I've been doing. I put the little extra demand on myself to stream every day. I haven't minded it at all because I'm just sitting here spinning. It's what I would be doing anyway. The only thing I'm missing out on is watching the coverage of the tour that I have been recording. Right, I'm watching day 4 right now, so I'm 4 days behind already. Not uncommon. That frequently happens. But that's the only thing I'd be doing that I'm not doing because I'm streaming. And I always have various wheels involved in the tour. Specific spinning projects for the wheels. And I set that all up also. So I have the fiber that needs to be spun on the Roberta and on here. The Nano had fiber on it already. I did spin on it the other day, but I'm not counting it towards anything of my Tour de Fleece. Unless I get really in a pinch. I can use it for a spin every day, but I wouldn't count the yardage towards a goal, right? Meeting your goal. My goal was 53 ounces. Or was that grams? Uh-oh. I forget. I don't have my... I forget. Either grams or ounces. And half of that is this sweater spin. So, I'm doing real good on that. I even weighed the caracol locks and everything when I figured that up. So, it's pretty specific. Pretty accurate. But it does not include anything for the Nano. I don't want to overuse the Nano. I hear people saying it's giving them trouble because that's the only thing they're using, and they're using it heavily and a lot, and I think it's hard on the motor. I think it's being hard on the motor. Now, I think that's only the Nano that has that problem. And I may be wrong, but they may be trying to spin other fibers or, other thicknesses that the Nano doesn't want to do. And that's what's giving them trouble. Oh, this is getting too thin. I can't get it thicker. Can't get it to go thicker. Let's back up on the draw. That should help a little bit. I've decided that I'm going to try and do a lot of plying on Monday. I Unfortunately, unless I spin off stream, I'm not going to have the second bobbin for this to ply this on Monday. But I should have 4 bobbins to ply of the Bullwinkle the Rambouillet, and I only have 6 bats to spin. There's 1 bat per bobbin. The Roberta bobbins are smaller. They don't hold as much. But I don't plan to spin. Otherwise, I decided I would go ahead and ply because it really isn't being counted towards our goals, right? You say you have 56 ounces to spin. That's fine, except that none of those ounces are in your plying. That's all fiber, right? So that's why I say it's not counting towards the goal, and it most certainly counts towards the stash dash and maybe your own personal goal to get the sweater amount done, but not that meet your goal. I'm going to spend this much fiber. So, sounds like Mondays are going to be good plying days. If I continue the way I'm going with what I'm spinning, I should actually be plying up the last of what I wanted to spin, the 56 ounces, on a week from Monday. And I will have met my goal, and then I get a bonus spin. I don't think there's even a category for that, and maybe I ought to suggest that to the Twitch team, right? First person to meet their goal, whatever, maybe. I should set up my own team. I used to do that when Ravelry was in its heyday. I have a group on Ravelry for Yarn Spinner's Tales. I also was at the height of doing all the podcasting, and I would hype it on the podcast and stuff like that. So in that Ravelry group, we would have a team. Once occasionally, a couple years, I gave prizes. But, it wasn't that many people, and it just really wasn't worth the effort. Sorry, I'm checking a few things here. And it's time to get more fiber. I had a wonderful day yesterday. Streamed early. Got the spinning all taken care of. Spun 1 bobbin on the Roberta, spun 2 bats on this, posted it, and asked hubby to help me do some house cleaning. And he did some of the sweeping, and he did some other stuff. He actually flipped the mattress for me, which he did it by himself. I cannot believe that. If I had known, I would have helped him, but
he's like super cautious about my knee. So, anyway, that was wonderful. I always helpful when you flip your mattress and it feels good for a while. Anyway, we zipped through what housework we needed to do, and then we made cocktails. And the weather was glorious. I mean, just absolutely perfect. So it was wonderful to sit on the porch. We had a cocktail and then he grilled. So that was our supper. Grilled pork chops. Really, really nice day. It felt so productive. And yet, like, it felt like nothing was under pressure or anything like that. Um, just because I like talking about cocktails, I am a magazine reader and I read stuff that I see on the internet about cocktails, and I talk to bartenders when we go out, and it's just something that I enjoy. I would never want to do the work as a bartender, but there is a lot of fun. If you are a drinker, there is a lot of fun in making your own at home. Well, I have seen off and on a lot about Pimm's, Pimms, being a very British drink, a Pimm's cup, and that fascinated me because they say that it is frequently served at the Wimbledon, and that made me think very much of how our Kentucky Derby has the mint julep, right? A specific drink. And so I decided that I would get whatever small bottle I could get of Pimm's and try a couple cocktails. And that's what we did last night. Pimm's is a liqueur that is made with gin as its base. Now, one of the general everyday type, not everyday, that's not what I'm trying to say. One of our favorite go-to cocktails when we make something at home and we're not experimenting is a gin and tonic. And in fact, frequently Ted will, said his name, frequently he will order that when we're out to eat or whatever too. It's very refreshing for summer. And that's one of the reasons I was intrigued about the Pimm's, because it is gin based. And if you think of liqueurs that are other alcohol based, Drambuie comes to mind, Benedictine, which is very similar, comes to mind. So it's similar to that. The standard cocktail or whatever is lemonade and Pimm's and lots of garnish. So, it's sort of like what you get a lot of garnish with a Bloody Mary. I mean, there is cucumber slices and lemon, orange, and strawberry in a true Pimm's cup. I didn't do that because I'm not all about the garnish. I'm all about, what does the actual alcohol taste like with other ingredients, since I had never tasted the Pimm's. So we did a sweetened fresh squeezed lemon juice sweetened, Pimm's, and tonic. So it is like a gin and tonic. It is not in taste like a gin and tonic. It is much more complex, much more interesting, but refreshing. It is definitely a sippable drink. And then the second one was even better because it was Pimm's and ginger ale, and it was even more, just very light on the alcohol content, very refreshing, lots of ice, that kind of thing. So that's your cocktail lesson for today because that's what I learned yesterday. And we had a good time enjoying talking about the PIMS and saying what we thought about it and sharing that. It's a fun thing to do when you're not driving and retired and all that kind of good stuff. The day's work is done. Come on. There we go. And you're in good health. I've been spinning that Rambouillet in the morning. It is so much better than this CVM. This CVM's not bad, but that Rambouillet is just about as close to commercial prep that I have ever gotten, and that says a lot. It's one of the reasons I never sell prepped fiber wool. I have sold a lot of alpaca because it is easier to prep. You don't get this shortcut stuff with alpaca, so I don't mind selling the alpaca. That was a lot of what I sold when I was vending, had a booth. Angora, of course, because I was raising the rabbits. There was no prep to that. In fact, they don't really want you to wash it. It's straight off the rabbit and packaged up. I did bonbons. I took tissue paper and put, an ounce of Angora fiber in there and wrapped it up with ribbon on each end. Right. Sold Angora bonbons. I cannot hear that music at all. That is driving me crazy. It is so quiet. I don't even know if I like it or not because I can't hear it. I'm having more trouble keeping this to the thickness that I want. It wants to go thinner than I did with the light color. I kind of half wonder if maybe that's not a bad thing. Um, Maybe I'll get more yardage. I'm pretty sure I need more yardage than I was thinking I'd get. But I don't want to go so thin that I can't knit a nice, thick, comfy sweater. See how thin? Oh my gosh, that got so thin. Wasn't even trying. So I found out I totally really don't do crochet very well. So for the library make along, I thought I'd be starting off real easy out of this little crochet book. When I'll use up some Christmas yarn that is in the scrubby yarn. It's actually not bristly like some of that scrub it. There is yarn that is way more bristly than this is. This is almost like rickrack, a real thin rickrack. It just has loops on the either side of it, and that's what they're calling a scrubby. And the book was made for that yarn. I got it as a promo kit one time where it had the book, 3 skeins of yarn, and I think a crochet hook. All right, and I don't remember where I picked it up, where it was. Anyway, that was 2 years ago. And last year I did use all of the white, and I made some stuff that was in the book and gifted it. And I saw these scrubbies, and I still have. They use white, and the green and red. But the white is the bulk of it, and I'm pretty sure that's where I used up all the white. I know I have made them. That's what's really frustrating me. And I went to cotton. I went to dishcloth cotton for the white, and it's only like 8 rows, and I crocheted 6 of the rows, and I got to where it's all white, and I got to where you put the color on the last 2 rows. I cannot get them to lay the way it looks in the picture. It's going, you make a chain that then you bring forward through 2 chain loops that you had made previously. It sounds simple, and I don't know why there is one step or something that is preventing me from getting it to lay nice, so it makes a nice circle with an exterior edge of 2 loops of the white and 2 loops of the color. It's hard to explain. I gave up last night. I'm not giving up on it at all, but I have to sit down and fiddle some more. Once I get a good 2 loops looking good, figure out how to make them look good, it'll be all right. I'll be able to do it. I can't believe I've made them already, and I knew they
I mean, they looked all right then when I made them. They didn't look bad.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not understanding one particular thing or something. Let me finish my coffee before it gets too cold to drink. It's too early for a stretch. We're only a quarter way in the stream. That's good. I'm making pretty good progress here with the bats. And you probably can't hear me because the music I put up to be louder, and I get softer when I move away from the mic, which I just did to lay back. Yeah, sit back in the chair. I sat back forward. All right. Now, since I drank that coffee, I'll probably have to do like they call in the actual race, a nature break. That cracks me up. But, you know, they actually go off in the woods. It's just, ugh, good grief. Hi, you can hear me. Well, you're working today, aren't you? But I'm glad you're lurking and listening. Thank you. It's okay. I just talk away to myself. I do it at home anyway, whether I'm streaming or not, right? I talk to myself all the time. Usually, though, it's under the breath. And what you're saying is you can hear me with my mic, yeah. Hope you're having a good day, Snoring Cat. Do you get to spin while you are at work? Or do you take something else like knitting? Or do you weave? I mean, hello. You're at the weaving shed. Probably you're weaving. Oh, it's busy. Okay, well, good. That's good. You're at the gallery today. That sounds interesting. So, people can come in and buy hand-woven things? Do you sell weaving supplies? Or is that... It's not really a gallery thing, is it?
No, it's an art gallery. Oh, oh, that's okay. We got about 85 artists currently, most of whom are within 50 miles of us. You know what that reminds me of is Nashville, Indiana. They've always called that an artist community also, and there are um, a lot of artists around there. It is less so now than it used to be in, like the 80s and 90s, but that's what it used to be, and that's a lot of artists for that area. The Weaver's Cabin, on the other hand, teaches classes and sell things made by the volunteers. The volunteers are also docents of a sort. The gallery is my paying job.
Oh, okay. You're right. I don't think I ever got the distinction. But they're somewhat connected, location wise. Like maybe same building or.
You work at the gallery, you volunteer at the Weaver's Cabin, yeah.
See, I want to win the lottery. And I want to build a brand new house on another piece of my property here. And then I want to turn this into a folk art, maybe fiber focus only school. And, if I don't play the lottery, it seems like that dream's just not going to come true. But, it's it's I can't just walk out my door and go somewhere and buy a lottery ticket. It is a hassle to go buy one, so I don't buy one. But that's all right. It's fun to have dreams. But the whole basis of that dream is the fact that this house cannot live here and be used by other people for other things.
Oh. Yeah, I know you walk to work. They are about a block and a half from each other. This town is only about 3 blocks total.
That's great. Shoot, I grew up in a small town in Ohio, and even I know that's way more. It was way more than that.
Hi, Veggie.
How are you today? You having a quiet or busy Saturday? Oh, you're no. I saw that somewhere. You posted that. You got tooth pain. Oh, hugs. Hope it gets better soon. Hate tooth pain. Hate any pain. I have lived with plenty in my life. I'm done with it. Don't want no more. I had a bout with some tooth pain in an area where I have a permanent bridge, and I thought it was the tooth that was holding the bridge in place. And it took a while for me to get into the dentist. I did use just the clove oil during that time, but it came on one day, the next day, and then the next day it was gone. And then 2 days later, so like almost a week later, I have my dentist appointment, and I'm like, it doesn't hurt anymore. What's going on? Of course, they X-rayed it, but he told me it was sinus. He says it probably sinus kicked the nerves up. I was like, oh gosh, that just doesn't seem like really the answer, but whatever. Tooth pain is its own special kind of hell. That's true. It's very true. Veggie says, I didn't get a lot of spinning done yesterday. For the spin every day, I was really excited for Fiber Friday. What was Fiber Friday? What's with that? Is that a thing, or is that just you? You got stuff in the mail. Well, yes, snoring cat. I mean, that's what my dentist said. He says it really can affect it, and I'm like, but why didn't this? Why didn't my nose hurt or whatever? But anyway, the bottom line is, if it's that, it will go away when the weather changes, or you know. But if it's truly needs something because it's a tooth, it's not going to go away. You got to get it looked at anyway. Either way. What'd you get in the mail? That's what Snoring Cat. I thought you. Did you post anywhere on Discord? I don't have anything ordered. I don't have anything coming. You call your. Oh, you call your. Well, see, I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm sure you were looking forward to that.
Okay. She says, I'm hoping I have manageable discomfort so I can try later today.
There's been a number of people on today, which I'm not surprised.
At all.
Being the weekend. Yay, one bat done. This looks kind of cluttered in here. Let's get these out. Okay, so I'm going to be making noise here because I'm going to be rattling through my bag. I got bits and bobs thrown in here that I want to recard with my hand carders, and they're getting stuck all over the other bats. There's that one. Okay. I should get a bag for the... I'll stick it in my scale thing for right now. Alright, one more bat. Oh, this is chunky. This one's chunky. It's got a lot of white tips in there that didn't card in. Speaking of fluffy, chunky, one of the things I did this morning before I even got around any of the spinning was something that I needed to get done ahead of time for the challenge day, and it's not even for tomorrow, it's in the future, but I wanted to give it time to dry.
A while ago, back on a stream I did for the Shave 'em to Save 'em Navajo churro.
And the way I was doing it was
Trying to mimic the style of yarn that the Navajos do with their big drop spindles for their rugs, but do it on a wheel. And for as near as I could tell, wasn't a lot of information, but I got the impression that it was single, and that I could get information on how they spun it. They had to hand card the Navajo churro and had these little bats. So in order to, instead of just spinning those little bats, what they did was attenuate them out and just do a real quick through spin with their drop spindle, connecting them. So there's a little bit of twist in the, as they drew them out and they connected it, and they had all this great big, slightly twisted fiber on their drop spindle, on their spindle, and it sits on the floor. It's not a drop spindle, right? It's a great big Navajo one that they can roll on their thigh, and the whirl is on the bottom on the floor. And then they take that off and, probably roll it up or whatever and start a second spin. And that second spin is a quick spin, just a little more twist. And then they take that off and they do a third spin. So it's a single. They spin it 3 times because they don't really get quite the twist they want or whatever for the third time, right? When they just go the second time. I suppose it's because they're doing it so fast, and that big spindle like that doesn't put a lot of twist in, right? It's heavy. It's not going to do a lot of turns. It's almost like you're spinning with a stick and a string attached to it, and you're twisting the stick with your fingers. So I think that they developed the technique for that reason. All right. So then I wanted to try to reproduce that on the wheel, and I got the first, I did a big bat, so I didn't have that first, right? And I did a quick spin through with that bat, and it got too tight. it was too twisted to be a soft single. So I went through the third time backtracking and, going the opposite direction, untwisting. And I got a really, really softly spun single, thick and thin, but really, really nice. So that's what I wanted to use. First of all, I'll submit the yarn and explain it to Shame to Save 'em, but I thought I would go ahead and use that in something woven, and all I have is a little it nail loom. It's a square with the nails sticking up, and I'll have to do it by hand, and can make like a hot mat to sit something on or something. If I had decorative fiber, I could make a design, but this is just gray, right? I didn't dye it or anything. It's just gray. And I don't have like white to stripe it or anything like that because I want to keep it the Navajo churro for the Shaving to Save 'em. So anyway, today I steam set those singles so that they would have time to dry and everything. And I loved the yarn to begin with, but after I set it, it got twice as fuzzy. It is. It's really cool yarn. It's really cool yarn. I can see that I may have enough to do the hot mat like I want on the loom, and then maybe knit something with it, something small with it, maybe knit another one. The thing is that it looks just like Lopi. It really does. It looks just like Lopi, even though that wasn't technically what I was going for with the Navajo churro, because it doesn't have the dual coat that the Lopi is usually made out of, but it does look and feel like Lopi, and probably would knit that way. It was really fun and really interesting, but it took me quite a bit this morning to get that taken care of, because I had to get my steamer working that's connected with my iron. And it has been literally years since I've used that steamer. I couldn't remember how to make it work. Once I did, I had the ironing board. I put the skein around the ironing board, and I just blasted the steam on it. Didn't do a visible change where it unkinks and moves around or anything like that, because it was such a very light twist. It didn't really have to move because it was already wherever it was going to go. So that will not be tomorrow. That will be a week from tomorrow when I do that. But the yarn's ready after it dries. Should dry today. Doesn't get that wet. Hi, Carolyn's mom. Good to see you. It's been a while. This is CVM, stands for California Variegated Mutant, and it is pretty. It's very muted, very subtle variegations, mostly gray. This is a fleece that I have processed, drum carded. Mutant. You. Yeah, veggie. We don't have a zombie yarn. We don't have a zombie sheep yet, but mutant's close. No, it's called mutant because the Ramondale is its base breed, but then Ramondale are always one color, and when the sheep are born without that solid color, because of there's a genetics in the breeding that will happen. They're called variegated mutants, and it's because they have the pretty colors. I'll show you guys what the locks look like because I have them sitting right here.
It doesn't look like what I'm spinning at all when it's on the sheep. It's very crimpy and a moderate length. It's not really short, but okay. So all three of these colors came off of the sheep. This is darker. Don't mind the sun bleached tip there. This is darker, and then your normal gray, and most of the fleece was this, and then some of it from certain areas on the sheep was the white. And it's got really nice crimp to it. Very subtle, but let me get that. It's soft. It's very soft. But I kind of lucked out and got a nice fleece. I can't guarantee. Also, not everyone has the same colors, right? You're going to run into other, you're not going to run into other colors. That's your basic mutation, but there'll be different ratios maybe where they have more of the darker gray and more of the lighter, because I had two different fleeces, and just finished the one, and it was quite a bit lighter. This one's darker. But see, all three of those colors were put into these bats, so it just blended up into this sort of variegated gray. How are you? Carowin's mom, what you been up to? You doing Tour de Fleece? Spinning during the Tour de France? I am trying to spin this a certain wraps per inch, and it's wanting to go thinner. And as soon as I start speeding up on my spinning, I don't get the range I want to go for, I get thinner. So I have to pay a little more attention to my drafting today than I usually do. See, this is what I'm going for. I was getting some thick and thin there. Yep, that's 22, 24 right in there. Go the other way. Come on. Oh my gosh, it's fighting me. Come on, there we go. Well, that wheel was fighting me. Did not want to go to the right. Oh, thank you. I need to. Thank you. I will hydrate.
You too.
Hydrate party. Good. Good, good. Well, since that, I'll do that now since that broke off anyway. Got my mug. First I drink coffee, then I do all the things, but this is water. I've had enough coffee for today. So many little bits. I mean, they come out and the yarn ends up smooth, but taking the time to stop and pull them out drives me crazy. I need to just make myself not drum card but comb and make top. I know Snoring Cat said that that's what she likes, and it makes sense. Oops. Fiber down. Oh, there we go. You know, it's been so long ago that I washed this. I think I probably washed it with Dawn. It's a tad dry. it feels a tad dry to me. Of course, no lanolin at all, which perfectly makes sense because Dawn gets the grease. Alright, this is a particularly bad part of the bat. It's just full of these little shortcuts. Some vegetable matter. Goodness. Yeah. I have one hair right here. It is driving me crazy. It's hitting right on my. It's full of static and it's hitting right on my forehead. I think I should have left this bit on the floor. It's been a This bit's been a nuisance. Oh my goodness. I just remembered. Oh my goodness. My mom's birthday is the 14th of July. Gotta think about something to send her. Besides a card. I forgot we changed months and this is her birthday month. Well, that was good. Alright, I need a stretch break. I just realized I didn't take one, and I am almost done. I'm 1.5 way through. 1.5 done. Why do I always have to yawn when I stretch? Oh, that feels so good. I stretched on stream yesterday, and somebody said they heard my back pop. I think they might have heard my shoulder, not my back, because I think I just heard it pop this time. When I take my water aerobics, we do stretches. My absolute favorite. You plant your feet on the floor and you float out ahead. You just float straight out, but you keep your feet on the floor. You really got to have core muscles to hold that. And then you pull in on those cores and it stands you back up. But it feels so wonderful just to float out and stretch in that water. Sorry, guys. I had to make some notes here. Otherwise, I just truly forget to do something that is important to take care of. Carolyn's mom says, I think I just confused some young people. They'd made a purchase and there are mints and suckers on the counter. He asked if they were complimentary. I said yes. They say very nice things about you. Poor. It's a good joke. But you didn't answer his question, so. Oh, you are working today. That answers my question. If you were spinning or whatever. when it's slow, you're knitting a sock, though. Okay, I'm glad you can do that, yeah. Okay. Too much twist, not enough pull in. I think I need to change my drive band because I'm kind of at the top of my black one. So let me change it to the next one here because I don't want that much twist. This really does spin different when I get weight on that bobbin. It's not as obvious on some of the wheels that I spin with smaller bobbins, or like the Ashford really, really thin. See, this is not really over twisted, but it looks it because it's real barber pulled. There's quite a bit of twist there. Needs more pull in. I'm also having to fiddle with the fiber drafting a little bit more, which if I don't slow down adds more twist too. But the moral of that little blip is that the spinning changes as things go on, as you get into the spin, right? It's not a constant adjustment. Maybe some wheels can be that way, but mine aren't. Alright, everybody wake up a little bit. I'm going to change the music. I won't change it to loud, but I can't stand the fact I can't hear any music. One of the things I'm going to have to do is raise the whole part of the wheel that holds the maidenhead. I am talking about, I want to show this, which will really affect the pull in and the ratio and everything. I'm having less and less because this is what's happening. Let me put my camera on this. Sorry for the movement. Okay. This right here, I use an Allen wrench, and as you can see, it's a slot here, and that is holding all of this, which is your whirls and your bob and your flyer, and this adjustment right here. The more this goes down, the more, you have to make it tight with this. If you take all of this off, pull this up, you can even see on the wood where I've had it as high as that right there. Well, that makes as high as that right there. Almost an inch. This just gradually goes down, and I'm guilty of it. I get up and I use this right here to support myself when I stand up, and I'm just gradually pushing it down. So I can't do anything like that to push it back up. I have to loosen this up with the Allen wrench, put it back up in place, and try and get it tight. So it's fighting me. I'm aware of it. It's not something I want to do on stream, but I need to be fixing it pretty soon here because I got a lot of spinning to do on this wheel. Let's see here. Oh, I need to put my camera back so you can see my hands. There we go. Carolyn's mom says, I've gotten in the habit of having a Radio Garden tab on Smooth Jazz and another tab. Otherwise, it's too quiet here at work. Yeah. I like music when I'm working. If the TV's not on or whatever. I am not a TV watcher. I have turned into a streamer watcher, and I'm not just talking Twitch. I'm talking about watching things on some of the streaming channels. Stars in particular. Instead of watching it on a TV package, I'm watching it on the computer because it's streaming. Anyway, for years, I'd listen to music. I didn't watch TV. But I met hubby. Hubby's a TV watcher, and that changed because if it's on, I can't ignore it very easily. Well, I'm going to have to put adjust wheel on my list there too. Things to do tomorrow morning. Karen's mom says, hubby will generally let me watch whatever I want, but on those shows of his that I can't stand, I put on headphones and watch streaming something. Yeah, I've done that. Or wait, because within 15 minutes he'll fall asleep, and then I just turn the volume down. He's the kind of person that wants to fall asleep and watch TV. And then and have the remote, right? And we have 2 remotes. I solved that quick. We got 2 remotes. And he wakes up, turns it back up. Dueling remotes. I think that's why he doesn't care what I watch. He takes a nap. Yeah. Yeah, well, at least he's generous enough to let you go ahead and watch. There's sometimes some things comes on. He's not, it'll be on what he was watching, and then it goes. He's asleep, and it goes to the next thing, and it's not bad. And yesterday I was watching a show on this whole thing about the whether the Druids came to the Americas, even before it was discovered, quote unquote, because there's all these stone structures in New England. It was pretty interesting. I was enjoying watching that one. I mean, there's a part of it that makes it unbelievable, hard to believe, whatever, because they were tying it into the Druids were, the whole reason was because they were in connection with beings from another dimension, outer space, whatever, That's where it gets far fetched. But, the stone structures all over the world are there for a reason. We just haven't quite figured it out yet. And what I didn't know, what was most interesting to me, because I'm a rock hound and, that kind of thing, is that at least in New England, they are built where there's a lot of magnetism in the ground, natural magnetism in the ground. And the stones that were being used were granite, which has lots of quartz in it. It just seems to be just that shy of true science to be realistically believable. So once in a while something good comes on and I enjoy watching it. I was in the middle of trying to get a crochet pattern to work. I finally gave up. I will reattempt it. I have 2 more rows. I cannot get those last 2 rows to work, so I need to sit down with it again and see if I can get it to work. The most frustrating part about it is I made it before. I made this pattern before. It's just a little scrubby. I know it's just something simple I'm not doing right to make it look right. Maybe that's why it wasn't working, because I was half watching the TV. Just need to focus on it better. I'm going to keep the stream to 2 hours today because we are going to go into town, eat out, do a couple errands, visit hubby's brother. So got a few things I want to do before we go do that. 3 more strips. All right. Almost done. Lots more to do of this, but that's another day. "15 bats of this, which was real close to a pound of fiber. I've always heard it said that you need a pound of fiber to knit a sweater. I'm having my doubts that that's going to be enough for me, but it's a start, and the goal for the Twitch team was 500 grams spun. I'm going to at least go for that goal. I don't like the grams bits. I understand it. It just doesn't translate well in my brain as to what that is. I can use a conversion, but I can set my scale to grams. In fact, I started out with the intention of weighing everything that I was going to do, and that's why I think when I said I have the goal of 56, I have the feeling it's grams. 500 grams that's not right. That's not right for the goal. Is it? Huh. Let me bring Discord back up and look here real quick. Oops. Well, she didn't pin. I gotta go all the way to the beginning because she didn't pin rolls. Yeah, it is 500 grams. 17.5 ounces. So, okay. The reason I'm going to make it is because I had over 8 ounces with the lighter color CVM that I've already spun. So they're not saying you have to get a certain number of yards. They're just saying spin a certain amount of fiber. Because I think there's sort of a understanding that every sweater pattern takes a different amount, and depending on your pattern, you're going to have to figure out how many yards you need. And my idea is, after putting these two CVMs together, if I really don't have enough, I can go to a border Leicester, which is, I have a similar color, or I can go to a white and make something, stripy or different with it by adding to it. But the actual sweater goal is 17.5 ounces, and as far as I can tell, I'm going to have close to 23 ounces spun. And that'll be all singles. It has nothing to do with the plying, because you can ply it any way you want. It's the fiber weight. Now, unfortunately, I'm picking a lot. Sure hope I don't get just under, because I've been picking a lot out of it as I spin. If I'm short, I'll have to add 4 ounces of a contrast color or something. Say that's my yoke. My yoke. those are really my Tour de Fleece goals. That sweater spin amount, 3 fibers for Shave 'em to Save 'em, and which 2 of which are done, and the third one's tomorrow, and the spin every day. And so far, I have streamed every day. That's just a little personal goal. Excuse me. Oop, need to move my... Ooh, this is going to be a chunk to ply. Big bobbin. I will weigh it as soon as I get it done here. I started with... Oh, here, I put it over here. Somewhere. Okay, the weight of bobbin with some fiber on it was 9.2 ounces when I started today. So it's probably going to be around 12. That's what it did last time when I put 4 bats on. All right. Oh, come on. Need to see if anybody else is streaming that we can raid. Already? The last person I was watching raided while I was busy. Oh, I've been on over 2 hours, and we've got some stuff we're gonna go do after I get done. So I can't stay on. If somebody rated this one, I didn't catch it. I didn't see it at all. All right. Let me do a quick weighing of this bobbin. Oh, it's not as much as I thought. I need my camera. Come on. Don't put your fingers over the camera. 10.8. All right. Well, those bats weren't even quite an ounce, I don't think. Write that down. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I sure appreciate it. I know you all are busy doing stuff, but it's nice to have the lurk and nice to have the chat. Everybody, let's go to Twitch real quick and see who's on. Oop. Get it where I can see it here. Rogue is on. Yarn Crafter's Corner's on. Anybody else have any other ideas? Rogue or Yarn Crafter's Corner? I haven't caught anything with Rogue this last week or so, so I'm going to go over there and catch her real quick. All right. I think I caught her at the very beginning, but not much lately. Oh, Rogue is on snakes? Okay. Thank you, Veggie. I won't do that. I'll go to Yarn Crafter's Corner. What's Yarn Crafter's doing? Well, here, I can check her real quick. I got time to do that. I have to go through the ad because I'm not a subscriber. And then I'll check Yarn Crafters.
Is the real purge, the forever purge.
They won't stop until we're all dead.
Come on, Ed. Goodness gracious.
The forever purge. Rated R.
She's fine. You can see she's not curling up into a ball or anything.
Yep.
She's fine.
It's snakes.
It's just
All right, Yarn Crafters
transfer
Corners.
process.
Okay, I just can't get this button hitting right. We'll get there. Oh, I didn't do it right. Didn't like that. Yarn. Rafters. Oh, there's only, it's not plural. Yarn Crafters Corner. There it goes. All right, see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna be doing something real interesting, tailspin yarn. All right, take care, everybody. Bye. Oh, she's on.